guys, this is the Lovin Dubai show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We spoke about the UK and UAE tackling Middle East tensions, Dubai police is hiring, and the 20,000 dirham reward for a lost doggy in Dubai.
And so if you have missed the episode, we go in podcast form. So subscribe to the Lovin Dubai show podcast wherever you get your podcast from and enjoy.
Good morning, Dubai. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, where we go through the top trending stories that everyone across the country is talking about. Our top story for you today: the UAE president and the UK Prime Minister tackle Middle East tensions.
As well, Dubai police is hiring. So are you looking for a job?
And we're talking about the back to school traffic. It's happening and we're all sitting through it. We feel your pain. We're going to talk about it later.
As well, a 20,000 dirhams reward for a lost dog in Dubai.
And it is Tuesday, which means we have Decisive Zone back in the hot seat. It's Visa Talks, why entrepreneurs are choosing the UAE.
It is 332 days since the genocide began in Gaza on October 7. The current death toll stands at 40,786. The number of injured people is 94,224, and 1.9 million people have been displaced from their homes.
In today's rapid weather report, highs of 41 degrees Celsius, humidity at 51%. It's basically balmy, it's basically winter, so get out and enjoy yourselves. Before we jump into our top story, I love Instagram threads so much. They bring forth debate, and one that caught our eye this morning I'd love to get your thoughts on. And your thoughts on, Farah. Okay, so
of course,
Charis Pixie put on threads. Unpopular opinion, children under 3 should not be allowed in business class for long haul flights. I'm currently on the Dubai to Sydney leg, and a child has been screaming non-stop when you've paid so much. It's really irritating.
Okay. This might, please don't cancel me.
I feel bad for even allowing this conversation.
Please don't cancel me. Please don't cancel me to anyone who is listening. But I agree. I agree, because if you have paid that much for a business class ticket, it's because you want to experience it. And when there is a child who's screaming, crying, wanting food, wanting this, wanting that, you're gonna be like, oh my God, like why? Or like, why is the child here? I paid all of that to experience
it. Yeah, but why not the child?
Yes.
You're in business class, you lucky duck. You can put you probably get like these amazing noise cancellation headphones. I've no doubt if you asked, they'd be able to provide them. You could go up to your bar, you could go for a sleep, you can lie down, you have all the food and the drinks coming to you. Look.
No. I mean, the child is not going to remember being in business class, but the adult will remember that, hey, I was in business class and I did not have fun.
You're getting a mixed bag of responses on this. So Honey Dip says, my issue is the parents that just sit there and let it happen instead of trying to calm the child. People are so severe on this. They're saying, unless there is, an absolutely essential reason to fly, maybe kids shouldn't. However, what I really like is you're entitled to a child-free life, but you're not entitled to a child-free world. Have some empathy for the crying child, get some noise-cancelling headphones, and fly private if you don't want your kids on your flight. Someone else is like, if you can't, you're basically on public transport. And if you're too poor to get your own private jet, then you have to deal with it. It's like going onto a bus.
Okay, Casey.
And saying, I can't have children on these buses.
Okay, Casey.
I'm not going to allow this crying child in my headspace.
Okay, Casey, but think about it this way. Okay, imagine, like, you know what? Fine. Like, imagine I saved up a lot of money to go and fly in business class, and then I go this one time on a business class, and all I can hear is the child crying, and yes, I can get noise cancellation.
But let's remove business class from the equation. Let's say we save all of our money to go on any flight, and there's a child crying. A flight is a mode of transport from A to B that you're on, and yes, when you get on, and I think though I have more empathy because my sister has 3 kids and she's flown with them alone. So when anyone gets on, especially if it's a single mother flying and she's got 1 or 2 or 3 children, I'm just, not to the point that I'm going to do anything about it. Not to the point that I'm going to say, hey, do you want a hand? Because I'm not great with other people's kids, that's okay. But I empathize with her because and you know what even else, how you can mindset spin this is like, thank God it's not me. You know what I mean? Thank God it's not me with the crying baby, because you feel so bad for them because they know what it's like with kids on that even parents have started to give out these like hello, like please still love us packs to people who sit near them on the plane. That's cute.
I mean, that is cute. However, as well, you know what? I want to be evil. Parents, why can't they, I don't know, like take, like if their child is having a temper tantrum or maybe they're panicking or something like that and they are aware of it, the mother or the father or the parents as a collective should be able to calm the child down.
Okay. How can you calm a child? It's like you don't know what they want. And also, I had a friend whose baby cried for months, and they had no sleep. And it turned out because the baby had an allergy they didn't know about. So, like, it could be a food issue. I don't know. But there could be something underlying and the parents haven't figured that out yet and they're new parents.
Could be. But you want to tell me that, you know what, every time like you are on a flight, there's a baby crying and you're like, oh my God, like why can't the parents just like handle it?
No.
And I don't want to be evil, maybe because...
No. Let's get ourselves into the situation and then we'll...
Yeah, I think it's... I don't want God to be like, you said that? Fine. This is your karma.
I always think that. I think I'm going to have karma with a really stubborn child because I was a really stubborn child. Anyway, that's karma. 8:35, let's jump into our top stories of the day. The UAE President and the UK Prime Minister are tackling Middle East tensions. So President His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan got a phone call from the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer yesterday, during which they discussed ways to enhance cooperation between the two nations, aiming at serving mutual interests and fulfilling their people's aspirations for sustainable development and prosperity.
Well, during the call, they also reviewed a number of regional and international issues of shared concern, with a focus on ongoing tensions in the Middle East. They reaffirmed their country's commitment to supporting efforts to achieve peace, security, and stability on the regional and global levels. And as well, they stressed the importance of international action to contain escalating tensions in the region and prevent conflict from spreading, which could further threaten security and stability.
So on the same day as this call, the BBC has also reported that the UK has suspended some arm exports to Israel. They said there is a clear risk that the equipment could be used to commit serious violations of international law. So the UK has announced it will be suspending 30 out of 350 arms exports licenses to Israel. The affected equipment includes parts of fighter jets, helicopters and drones. Hopefully more news like that to come, and we'd like to see that the UAE is part of this international dialogue to achieve peace in the Middle East. Let's jump into our next story. We feel it, we feel you, we all are in it daily. The traffic.
Well, of course, you know, back to school. Students are back to school, and in light of that, Dubai's back to school traffic is a major dilemma. So Dubai residents are facing significant delays as back to school traffic ramps up. Lovin Dubai recently polled their WhatsApp followers to find out just how long commutes are taking amidst the congestion, and the results are in. So Sheikh Zayed Road has emerged as the most crowded street, making it a real struggle for many commuters.
So, if possible, what we want to do is try and help to ease the burden of traffic. Here are some tips that you might consider if possible. Now, if you have a child and you're in that back to school traffic, what can you do? However, for other people, can you leave earlier? Could you adjust your schedule or leave later so you avoid those peak hours? Could you take alternative routes? Possibly explore routes with less traffic, maybe not.
As well, carpool, so you can team up with neighbors or colleagues to share rides. Not only is it fun, but it also reduces the number of vehicles on the road. You can as well use public transport, considering using public transport, or park and ride options to eliminate the stress of driving in heavy traffic.
Also, just check, the RTA for updates. Work from home if your job allows it. I'm sure you'd take that if you could. But look, it's peak traffic time, and the traffic has not always been like this. I remember, I think last year, the back to school season, it was like, wow, like there's so much traffic on the roads. This year, there's so much roadworks on the roads because we know that the UAE is doing so much to improve the traffic. It's going to take some time. But like if you go down to Al Khair, it's absolutely phenomenal the amount of roadworks that's taking place day and night in Dubai at the moment, with the aim to improve the roads. So hopefully you're living in an area that will be serviced. If you're not, tweet at RTA. They're amazing at responding. But It's a lot.
It is. And I can relate to that. I really can relate to that. When I was younger in school, I used to live in Sharjah. And my school was in Gerhoud. It was like 20 minutes away because I didn't live like in the middle of Sharjah. I lived towards Dubai, towards the Dubai side, and a 20-minute route would take me 2 hours to get to school. Wow. 2 hours, and if I'm not even joking.
Wow.
I am not even joking. And if my dad would hear me, he would even exaggerate it even more because it was horrific. If I would leave at 6 sharp, I would arrive in 2 hours. And if I would leave at 6:05, oh my God, I would be stuck in traffic. It would take me even longer.
Yeah.
And it would be horrible. It would be so stressful for me, for my sister, for my dad. And getting stuck in traffic is really, by the way, like I would say, it's not really good for the mental health, I feel like.
No, it might be good for family relations. I'm thinking like if I'm stuck alone. By the way, we go live in podcast format that you can listen to in the car on the way home. You can listen to podcasts. You can listen, but then if you've got different age groups, so if you want to listen to something, you can listen. You can have headphones. But look, it's a long chunk of time. We've all been in the traffic, and it's taking a lot longer to get home. So hopefully you find something to use your time effectively in the car. Podcasts are a great way to go. However, getting you there safely is Dubai Police, and we have news on that front as well.
Well, of course, the Dubai Police is hiring. So Dubai Police is excited to announce a recruitment drive for male UAE citizens to join their transportation security team. And to be eligible for this position, you must meet the following requirements. Education, a recognized high school or university degree is essential. Age, candidates must be between 18 and 30 years old. Criminal record, a clean criminal record is mandatory, and as well for the physical requirements, applicants should have a minimum height of 165 centimeters with weight proportional to height, and with the assessment, you must pass necessary tests, medical exams, and interviews.
Registration is open from September 2 until September 27th, 2024. To apply, you will need to submit several important documents, such as we mentioned, that certificate of good conduct, addressed to the Transportation Security Administration. You need a Dubai Police passport recognised. With more information of that, you'll also have to get your birth certificate, your ID card, a coloured photo, copies of your parents' passport and ID cards. All of it, information on that is available on the post that we shared on Instagram yesterday. You will also need clearance from the National Service and Reserve Authority.
Well, if you are wondering how to apply, if you meet the criteria and you are interested in this opportunity, you can send your application to jobs@tsd.ae. Of course, and good luck. Good luck to all of you guys, because honestly, it's just like, it amazes me how like Dubai, I all the time see those ads on TikTok like, this company is hiring. You know, like the Dubai Police is hiring, or Emirates is hiring, or this, or join us. It's like amazing. It's like, you know, they're just like calling, because like there's this misconception that, you know what, if you want to work at the Dubai Police, that it is done through connections, but it's not.
Right.
And this is the proof.
We do get a lot of interest in these posts, but as a couple of people have pointed out, it is worth noting that it is for Emirati citizens between a certain age criteria. However, the Dubai Police are so cool.
It is.
Yes. And it's when we get to report on their stories for so many years that when I compare it to other police forces, I mean, I don't know much about other police forces, but like the work that they do, you covered a beautiful story in UAE police forces in general, like how they go above and beyond for citizens, whether it's helping you in a time of need or whether it's like, you know, making a kid's wish dream come true. They're really fantastic in spreading the joy. We love them so much.
100%. It was a story of the Ras Al Khaimah police achieved a German child's dream, which is getting in the car, and they took him around on a tour, and then later on they gifted him a gift. I'm like, how amazing can that be?
So nice.
That's amazing. And the police, you know, like it might be like, oh, maybe very scary, like when we were younger, but let's be real, like the Dubai Police or the UAE Police as a whole, it's like it's like a, I don't know, it's like very like, I don't know, they are like put on a pedestal in a way, in our eyes, in my eyes.
And absolutely well deserved. Like, absolutely. I just feel like how a police force person, how a police man or woman responds in a certain situation is indicative of their kind of moral standing. And we just see so many videos of people interacting with them. And that's kind of that's how we know that, you know, there's a trust in the community from them, that we've got so many videos of people kind of going up to them in public and their responses are so genuine and kind, but we also know that they are there for us. Like, we've heard some of the stories of like how many video cameras are in this city, and you know how many watching eyes are making sure that we stay within the bounds of the law, but also that there's just a very kind police force there, and that's so amazing. So shout out to you. Taking a quick break with a fun fact. Did you know Lovin is based in 22 cities? We have an amazing team of local journalists around the region bringing you the best positive stories and bite-sized news.
Well, get to know your region. You can find them on social, in daily newsletters, in podcasts, or on our app. Find them wherever you get your news.
Speaking of news, let's jump into our next story. There is a 20,000 dirham reward for a lost doggo in Dubai. So have you spotted this gorgeous Pomeranian? Meet Lexi, a 4-year-old Pomeranian who has been missing in Dubai for months. His family is heartbroken, and so heartbroken, in fact, that they are offering a substantial reward if you can find him.
Well, the family put on a post on Instagram offering 20,000 dirhams reward to anyone who helps bring him home safely. They also said, if you spot a dog similar to Lexi, please check his microchip. It might be him.
So this is the thing that, like, it's months down the road, and I guess their thought process is Lexi is alive, and what could possibly have happened? Either Lexi got lost and got rehomed, Lexi got stolen and got rehomed, but Lexi is microchipped. So if you have rehomed or purchased a Pomeranian in the last couple of months, check the microchip, and if the name says Lexi, you'll know that you are in the possession of another family's dog. And I think that's kind of, they've gotten to that realization. They're putting up a 20k reward, which is of course extremely substantial. But when it's your life, it's your life.
I mean, speaking of the reward, as you said, it might be a very big number, but because like I don't think people do understand that when they do have a dog and they have a pet at their house, that pet becomes family. And it's like losing a member of the family, losing a part of your daily life, your daily day, you know what I mean? It's like, for example, like they are used to, like, I don't know, maybe Lexi waking them up, like, I don't know, barking here and there and hearing her voice around, because like I know that for sure. It's like it's the sweetest, I would say, addition to a family, and letting go of a pet, it's not that easy, no.
It's so, I agree with you wholeheartedly, but I think there's two types of people in this world, and they all find themselves in the Lovin Dubai comments, which is amazing, because a lot of people are the same as you. They jump in with kindness, and they're saying, you know, he will be found, inshallah, please do update once he's found. You know, Dr. Marie says, I hope the family finds their baby, with a sad face. And then, you know, MXK.9V jumps in saying 20k for a dog worth 5k is an absolutely crazy reward. But, you know, kind of highlighting that, like, it's not worth it. So that you have, because some people are dog people, some people are pet people, and some people didn't grow up with the dogs as part of their family, and so they just don't get it.
They wouldn't understand. Because, like, you know, it might look like a so, but if you really want to think about it in a way, it's like, imagine, like, hopefully not, you lose, like, I don't want to say it, but, like, your child. You would, I mean, I would, like, freak out. My mom would freak out. I mean, you know what I mean? So to parents, to dog parents, that's how it is.
That's how it is. So you can understand why they've put such a substantial reward. Now, if you have any information, the post is live on our Instagram feed, and you can get the contact details from there. We're hoping Lexi gets returned to their family. It's Tuesday morning, which means it is time for Visa Talks with Decisive Zone. Today we're discussing why entrepreneurs choose the UAE. They'll be with us after this very short break. Do stay tuned. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today's guests are Sahil and Mariam Rashid from Decisive Zone. Today we'll look at the influx of high net worth individuals to the UAE, and we are asking why the UAE is a top choice for entrepreneurs and an attractive destination for startups around the world. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, nice to be back here.
Absolutely. Always looking forward to the chat, because today we want to know, let's dive right in, why entrepreneurs, high net worth individuals from around the world are choosing the UAE.
I mean, look, when I first came to Dubai, I was like, I wanted to move here and start a new career, but I didn't know what to do, where to go. So Dubai, when I first came, I just felt like it had so many good things. The culture, it was westernized, and obviously the lifestyle as well itself, it's really good. So Dubai, you have it all. You have the visa, you have everything else around.
There's also been, in the past we've been discussing the last couple of weeks that there's 7,000 new millionaires that are expected to come into the country.
Right.
But on the flip side, you do see a larger number of small business owners from the western half of the world who want to move here, because they want to take over and they want to take advantage of things like the tax structure. They want to take advantage of, their free for life visas, things of that nature. And plus the thing is that if you're people are willing to pay a small percentage in terms of tax to the government, they're super happy to pay that because of the lifestyle that they're getting in return. They're getting safety, security, nice infrastructure in the city, and everything's available here. So I think that's one of the main reasons why people are moving and looking to move to the country.
I'm glad you touched on smaller businesses as well, because I'm not sure about now, but there has been this preconception that people are moving to the UAE, they're making money and they're leaving. In your guys's, with your hat on from Decisive Zone, do you see that happening now? Or what is kind of like the trend on that?
No, not at all, because when they come to Dubai, they realize, they have everything they need here. So the safety environment is number one. Obviously, what's happening in the world at the moment, it's quite, difficult to raise children. There's a lot of things. And of course, the UK at the moment, the tax has gone up. So they come, they set up their companies, and then they realize, actually, I really like it here. You have like a 2-year plan, and then it ends up being 10 years, just like myself. So, yeah, yeah, exactly. So you find yourself just drifting towards, making your children come, living the way they live their lifestyle in the UAE really, really has a big impact on the kids and everything.
Absolutely, and that sort of again ties into the fact that businesses are, and it's not just the case that an established business is looking to move here. People who are just starting off, who just have a dream, and let's say they've collected a bit of money and they feel like this country as a starting point is probably the best option, right? Because setup costs are low, running costs are low in terms of company, but also the lifestyle that you get in return, the sort of connection between the West and the East that you're able to establish as a business, that's something that no other country would offer you, right? And then that's sort of tying into what Mariam said as well. So I feel like people are here to stay.
I'd love to know the difference in numbers over the years. So it would be more of a young person's dream to leave the country to come to the UAE, but now kind of what we're saying is that smaller businesses are coming. How has the UAE made itself an attractive destination for families? For example, to imagine you're in another country, you've got your wife, your kids, your husband, your dog, and you decide to uproot your entire life to come to the UAE. How has the UAE painted that picture to the world that, look, we don't just welcome young entrepreneurs, we welcome families as well?
So again, it's a case of young entrepreneurs who are, like I mentioned, they're starting off, just recently. They are looking to build a life in the UAE. So they've made home ownership very simple. They give you the same kind of perks as, the western half of the world, where if you buy a house, it's yours. It's 100% yours. But the beauty of it is, over time, you don't have to pay a capital gains tax, which in other parts of the world, as your property value appreciates, you may have to pay a certain percentage to the government. UAE doesn't have that, and that sort of builds into the favorable nature of setting up in the UAE. So there's that, obviously, and when families move here, there's so many different schools available for kids to, families have an option to look at different schools, different, malls, and it's just a case that all ties into the lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Because the business is really being sorted, but then there's also a lifestyle change And this is probably the best place, and I would say the safest place to start off.
Also, the UAE is very westernized now as well. They're really open to the Western world. They're looking into, how people would be comfortable living here. For example, my son, he's brought up in the UK. He was brought up in Dubai, but born in the UK. I'm originally Lebanese. And my first language was Arabic, but I obviously speak English. So I really wanted him to make sure his Arabic is still well spoken. So I first put him in a British school, and then I realized, actually, let me put him in an Arabic-based school where he can speak fluent Arabic. So there's options for a lot of people that are looking to look after their kids in terms of their languages and social aspect of things.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most interesting demographic shift in terms of people coming to the UAE that you've seen in terms of maybe business setup in the last 5 to 10 years?
I mean, a demographic, I don't think you would classify it as a shift. I would classify a demograph as evolving, right? Because it used to be very, very old school businesses who have that sort of turnover and who have the capacity and the ability to just, maybe just pack up all their stuff and relocate to Dubai just like that because they have the money to do it. But the evolution of the demographic of the business owners that are setting up in the country is the fact that even someone who may not have that sort of capacity or may not have that sort of ability can also do that, right? So you already have a strong fundamental base of businesses that are being built up, but then the UAE government is sort of facilitating building on those blocks and allowing more sort of young entrepreneurs and businesses to move it here and then start a life here.
So then what does that say for potential business owners already in the UAE? Are we getting nervous from the high interest from abroad? Does that cause a competitive market for the better, for the worse?
I mean, as economics goes, that competition is always good for business, right? Like that's the fundamental of economics. So if there are businesses that are coming into the country and, let's say there are brands in the region or in the UAE that may have had a monopoly sort of a business model for a long time, now it's a case of competition. So they have to also step up their game, improve the quality of their product or service, work on pricing, work on things of that nature, and sort of stay true to the culture at the same time. Right, so like that's the reason why I mentioned it's not a shift. I would classify it more as evolution, to be honest with you.
And when you have this small businesses here, can you speak to the UAE supporting them? Like, is there support in place for small business trying to establish themselves in the UAE?
Absolutely. I mean, as far as free zones go, there's a lot of support, because the thing is that, I mean, obviously in terms of, there's incubators, available in various free zones. There's different startup hubs that the government's directly funding. And if you do, have a brilliant idea, then you apply to the startup hubs or you apply to the incubators, etc. The government is willing to fund that, right? So it's just the case that there is help available if you need it. So it's just one of them situations. And if you don't, let's say, unfortunately, if you don't make the cut, then obviously there is, the flip side where setting up a business itself is relatively, I wouldn't say cheap, but less expensive. So you do have, options available out there. So, I mean, yeah, that is, either directly or indirectly, it is support.
So interesting, the government funding. Do you have success cases from Decisive Zone who've gone that route? And managed to gain support through incubators or different types of funding?
There has been a couple of cases. I mean, obviously we have, NDAs with our clients, but there have been a couple of cases. I would throw, as an industry, I would throw out maybe a payment gateway, a certain payment gateway that we've worked with, and it's reached new levels. There's a lot
Amazing.
There's a lot of businesses in real estate, construction, and various industries, and where the incubators have sort of facilitated that shift and that sort of growth for them. So there has been cases, yeah.
And is there, so we're not naming names, but is there specific industries that you think that the UAE is supporting more? Just for example, I know that we have a lot of small business owners within the UAE who watch the show, and for them, where is the UAE directing its money in terms of small business support?
It's going into tech at the moment. So there's a lot of investment done in AI. There's a lot of investment done in blockchain, Web3. The tech sector is where the UAE government's looking to, invest a lot of money in, because, as we've been discussing for the longest time, there's been constant updates in terms of the UAE government wallets, payment gateway structures, and all of this has to be built on tech, right? So that's the reason why they want to have not just bring in the best tech, but they want to have homegrown tech and build on that sort of foundation. So as of now, that's what the UAE government's looking at.
Right, and speaking of money flow, how does the easy movement of money in the UAE facilitate small business growth?
Maya?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
So how does the easy movement of money in the UAE contribute to small business growth? So regulatory environments of money, is it easy for companies to manage their money within the UAE, and is the UAE supporting that?
Yes, definitely. There's lots of different bank structures that we can provide for e-commerce companies. I can't name any names, of course, but it's really easy here in the UAE to move money around, and there's lots of help everywhere. So a lot of clients have easy access to different types of banking and services here when it comes to moving money around.
Interesting. I think banking is like one of the bugbears here, right?
Yes, yeah. Everyone. That's the main reason why they want to, start the company here, is for the bank accounts and trying to get money in and out as easy as possible. So.
And then would you offer supportive services on that? I know that you offer kind of a comprehensive business startup services. So if I have an issue with banking, for example, is that something that Decisive Zone can help with?
Yes, of course. Decisive Zone can help with everything.
Right.
We do provide services for banking, bookkeeping, all the regular stuff. But, we also give really good advice if you're someone that's looking to move to the UAE and start fresh and you don't know where to start from A to Z. We also help with living arrangements or schoolings, things like that. We have really our consultancy pairs where we're quite good at, giving good advice in terms of living arrangements. We have a lot of clients that sometimes they just ask, how much do I need to live in the UAE? How much do I need, on a monthly basis? So it really depends, obviously, on the type of lifestyle that you're looking for.
That's so interesting because my sister lives in the UK, 3 kids, and they talk about moving to Dubai regularly. And I'm living on Facebook groups where someone puts on the group, I've got 20K, is this enough? Is this enough? So if you're watching the show and you've got family abroad who want to move to the UAE, get them off the Facebook groups because they are negative, and send them to Decisive Zone when you have a consultancy service. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Finally, before you leave us, what are the key factors that make the UAE stand out as a place for both business and family for people from abroad looking to move here? We've touched on a lot of little aspects, but in your expert opinion, what are the key factors that make the UAE an attractive place? I
mean, start off immigration services, the visa structures, how it works, there's that. Then obviously tax-free living, you have home ownership, you have like we've discussed, there's a lot of flow of money through Dubai, and for any business that's looking to set up here, you can kind of get a piece of that pie. So it is an attractive market, you know what I mean? So if you're looking to set up a business, I think Dubai is something that you should have on the cards for sure.
And also, let's not forget the safety as well. So, I know we touched a lot on that, but that's the main reason why people end up wanting to stay, because, we always feel really, really safe.
100%.
Yeah. It's more important.
You cannot put a price on that.
Nope.
Guys, that is Tuesday Visa Talks with Decisive Zone. Guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Next up, we had the pleasure of sitting with Tina Rahimi, who is an Olympian who represented Australia in women's boxing. We got insights from her on the Emain Khalif story, what it was like to face backlash from her fellow countrymen, and more. Stay tuned. She'll be with us after this short break. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today's guest is Tina Rahimi, who made history as the first female Muslim boxer to represent Australia in the Paris Olympics 2024. What an achievement. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for fitting us in, because I've just heard you came right from the Olympics to a holiday in Dubai and you're doing some media. So thank you so much for your time.
No worries. Thank you.
Let's jump right in. I feel like we have a lot to get to. What did it mean to you to be the first Muslim boxer to represent Australia at the Olympics?
I think it meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to my community. It just meant a lot to Muslims and just women all around the world. I think to be that representation that you can do anything and be anyone that you want, and not worry about what you're wearing and not be judged with how you're looking. It meant a lot to me and everyone. So I'm so happy to be that representation and to be opening doors for young girls all around the world and women to feel comfortable to achieve their dreams.
That's amazing. I have to say, like, looking at your Instagram feed, it's just positive vibes. What did it take to get to this point in your career? Tell us about the journey.
Like in terms of positivity
in terms of the boxing.
Yeah. Well, I just stuck like really firm into, you know, just wanting to achieve my goal. Like it was just about waking up every day and making sure that if I felt like it or not, to just keep going. You know, that's what it's all about. Like if you have a goal, you got to do it regardless. Like your feelings don't matter pretty much. Like there was days that I doubted myself. There's days that I thought that you know, I just didn't believe in myself, and I never thought I would even be in the Olympics. You know, like as much as I think about it, it's like it's a massive achievement, and I'm proud of that. And the fact that I made it, like just a normal person, you know, a normal person from Australia, who lives in Bankstown, you know, to be able to go to the Olympics, like I did it, you know, and it just took that hard work and sacrifice to be able to do that. And yeah, it just shows that anything is possible for anyone with hard work.
And how did you find your like path into boxing?
Honestly, it was the most randomest decision. Like I was at the gym and I was with a friend of mine who was, we were just doing like a normal gym session. We had no history in training. It was just about going to the gym and lifting some weights, which becomes a little bit boring. You don't have like a personal trainer or anyone assisting you. So when I found out about these women classes, which was not too far from where I lived, I was like, okay, well, do you want to join with me? You know, the gym's not really working out. Let's just try something different. And yeah, I got my friend to join with me. We started off with the women's classes, and I just became like obsessed, like learning new techniques and just learning how to throw a punch, and like it just became like something that, oh my God, I need to perfect it. And then suddenly I just knew I was really good at it and I was really strong, and I just got really motivated even going to like my gym, a fight night that like a few of the fighters were competing at from my gym. And I was like, oh my God, I could do this. Like I could step in the ring. I could so totally do this. And then from there, 6 months after, I had my first fight. Yeah.
So amazing. I have to ask, first of all, what age were you when that happened? And then what was your first fight like? Because we talk about boxing, but I think the reality of actually going into a ring and facing someone else punching you is quite a step. So how did you face that? So 6 months later, I was like, okay, I had my first fight, and then honestly, it was the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done in my life. Like I was really shy. I never had confidence. Like, and the fact that I was really, really shy. Around like, what am I? I would say I'm an introvert. So I would be like open more around people that I know. But yeah, I had my first fight. I think my first 7 fights, I cried. Before I walked out, I was crying. I'm like, I don't want to do this. And I would question myself. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, this is not me. Like, there's a whole crowd watching me and looking at me, and I'm about to go compete in front of, let's just say like 200 people at the time, and I had like major anxiety. But once I stepped in there and once I actually started to compete and once I won, it was like a feeling that I've never experienced. I was like, oh my gosh, like this felt so good. Yeah. Like before I was like, no, this is not for me. But once I finished, I was like, when's my next fight? I want to know when I'm fighting again. But it was definitely the hardest thing that I've ever done. Like, imagine like you're in the ring with someone and it's literally you against them. Like, there's no one else. It's not a team sport. Like, whatever work you've done before that is going to show in the ring. If you didn't run, if you didn't, do the work, you're going to gas out, or you're not going to be able to perform. And it all shows. It all shows in there. Yeah. So you cried 7 times, and I just feel like, so many people go through difficulties in life. What would you say to them? Like, what kept you going that you could do it? How did you know that you could go all the way?
I think there's always this feeling inside where you're like, I guess you're just nervous and you don't know what's going to happen, and you're just like, oh my God, what do I do? But you got to like believe in that feeling. Like we all get that feeling, it's just about pushing through and then like getting out of your comfort zone, I would say. Like I was definitely not in my comfort zone, and I stepped out of my comfort zone and I did something that I felt like, it is so nerve-wracking, and I went and I did that, and I just kept doing it and I kept doing it and I kept doing it, and it just made me better and better each time. And if I was to stop, I would have never made it to the Olympics, because honestly the feeling of this is like holy holy crap, like I'm about to jump in the ring in front of so many people who are just about to watch me, and it's just, I can't even describe the feeling. It's like I cried. That we already know that. So yeah, it's a really, really stressful, but at the same time amazing feeling once you're finished.
So inspiring, so inspiring. And like, we're sitting next to an Olympian. You made it to the Olympics, and the first video I want to talk about is, there's a great video of you doing the Aussie war cry. Was that like spontaneous, or was it a planned moment? Like, how did it come about?
Well, we all have our moments. So basically it's like everyone just tries to, like do the Aussie chant, and like it's just like a playful environment. Everyone's like happy, and everyone's just like, okay, I'm gonna do the chant now. Do you know what I mean? So and I have a really loud voice, so and I always start the chant at our boxing game. So if we have someone competing, I'll be like, okay, guys, should I do the chant? Should I do the chant? And like, I'm really loud, so I usually start it off, and then everyone joins in. And then I was at the ceremony. I was like, guys, should I like do the chant? And like, yeah, do it. So then I started doing it, and I guess that's how it happened. And then I was like, oh my God, like such a good video, and it was like so positive. But I'm guessing you obviously saw the backlash that happened after that.
Right, yeah. Like you see the comments come through, and the comments of posts of like, we see it daily on Lovin Dubai, like it's just, you get such a mixed bag, and although there's so much positivity, it's so easy to see the negative and to latch onto those. So I'm just wondering, did that impact you?
Yeah, definitely. So I did an interview on a radio station yesterday as well, and I spoke about that. It was honestly like, I've dealt with hate like my whole boxing career. I think there's always going to be people that are going to criticize you, and you sort of like take it from one year at the other. You're like, whatever, like what do you have going for you? That's what you think about them, for them to hate on you for no reason. But once I started receiving this a few days out from competition, it was a little bit harder for me to cope, because I felt like there was so many comments. It wasn't like your irregular one or two comments. It was just like everyone like jumping on, and there was more negativity than positivity. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm an Australian, like I was born and raised in Australia. So like, why does it matter how I look? Like, I classify myself as an Australian. Like, I've barely left the country. Do you know what I mean? And like I only left the country for boxing. Like, and I've been there my whole life, and to see that there's people that are not accepting me for who I am, it was really it was really devastating and really upsetting, actually. And it definitely affected me. And I think it was like a few days out from competition, so I was crying, and I spoke to my female coach, and I was just like, I'm feeling really down. Like, there's these comments that are really getting to me. And she's just telling me all that positive stuff, like, whoever is successful, there's always going to be comments like that. And she really comforted me, which was really, really nice. But I didn't really speak about it to a lot of my teammates and stuff, because but a lot of people actually saw it, like the other coaches. I'm like, oh, like how are you coping with that? I saw your comments on your post, and like, what's that all about? And I was like, I don't know, like, I'm just going to let that be, and then just focus on competing and not let that background noise affect my performance.
Right, well, I'm glad that you had a support system there that you could talk to. Do you have any message for, I guess, internet trolls? Do you have a message that you'd like to share to them about how it can affect people? Online bullying, basically.
Well, first of all, it's not nice. Like, think of yourself in that position. To, imagine you were trying to do things positively, and like you were just trying to be yourself, and there's people hating on you for just being you. I think it's not nice, and I think it should be stopped. And if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say it. As simple as that. Like, just stick to yourself. Like, I don't like things. Sometimes I see posts and I see people doing things, and I'm like, okay, what are you doing? Like, I might think that, but I'm not going to go out of my way and let them, like, put them down. Like, what they do is none of my business, and that's how it should be. You shouldn't be negative.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, who has the time in this world for those types of comments? Yeah. Seriously. And there were so many stories that grabbed attention for the Olympics. I think in the run-up, one that I heard, and actually I didn't have like the insights on, was the fact that hijabi athletes were going to be banned.
Yeah.
from competing. And like, was there ever a question mark? Were you thinking, could I be banned? Like, how did that play out for you?
Yeah, like at first when I heard the news, I was like, oh my gosh, is this going to affect me? But then once I did a little bit more research, I found out it was for the French athletes and not for any other athletes around the world. So I know that they're all about secularism. So it's about like no signs of religious, you can't wear any signs of like religion. So the hijab, the cross, yeah, but I think it would, especially, and of course you got to respect everyone's laws, and which I might not agree with, but you know, you have to always accept the laws of the country that you're in. But I find it quite unfair where it's an Olympic event and, you know, there's women that feel comfortable with how they dress, and that's with or without hijab. Like, we should all be able to participate in sport, and it's all about, you know, inclusivity, coming together, and we're all equal, you know, and what I wear shouldn't affect anything, and it's about your performance at the end of the day, and that's what we really should look at. We shouldn't even look at how a person looks.
Yeah, 100%. Another story that dominated headlines, especially about female boxing, of course, was the story of Amin Khalif, who went on to take the gold. I'm just wondering, like, what was, you know, that dominated story headlines here, and what was the talk on the ground regarding the attention and, that her story received?
Oh, honestly, like, I really felt for her. I just felt like there was so much backlash without any proper evidence. Like, I felt like the people were just talking, and I've seen all these articles, and I'm like, imagine like what she's going through right now. Like, she's a woman, you know, and they were saying, oh, she's a male, but like, where's your evidence? Like, where's the actual evidence that's been provided that she's a man? Okay. Do you know what I mean? So I really felt for her, and I felt like a lot of people on social media were coming out and are giving all this negative talk, and I'm like, you shouldn't say anything unless you know what's 100% true. I know that she failed like a gender test or something last year, and that's with like another boxing organisation, but they never even provided the evidence. Like, they never came out with, like, if it was true. And I have no clue about it, anything about it, but like, why didn't they provide any evidence? Like, they just said all these things, and yeah, I think it's just it was really unfair, and I think the fact that the whole world, you know, was giving her criticism, and I feel like they still do. It's quite sad, and I really felt for her, especially as someone who's experienced online bullying. I felt like I couldn't even imagine what she was going through competing at the Olympics with that much hate.
Yeah. It's so interesting how social media just the stories propel, but also there is a lot of good, and I actually think it was such a great Olympics as an audience. And there's the athletes and the performances, and then there's the Olympics village, which, by the way, I'm always so interested in. And you see these things that come out. I know you shared a story about it as well, like the cardboard beds where you're eating. Like, what was the whole Olympics village experience like for you? Was it what you were expecting?
I think you just never know what to expect, because we didn't know what was inside until we actually jumped in. So like, I actually went in there. I think it was me documenting everything. It was like I was taking my audience through what I'm seeing. So that's why I was so interested, like, to keep making TikToks and showing everyone like what I'm experiencing. It was just so fun. Like, you know, everyone just commenting about the cardboard beds, the muffins.
It actually like a cardboard bed?
It was 100%.
But how are they putting Olympic athletes on cardboard beds? Like, surely you need like pillows and, and bubbles to sleep on.
So the actual like the, what do you call it? The bottom's cardboard, not the actual like, the mattress is not cardboard.
Okay.
So I feel like it was actually pretty firm. Like, I know there's like people that made TikToks of them like jumping on the bed and like punching the bed, and it's like, oh, it's still staying like firm. So it was quite interesting. But yeah, to be honest, I didn't mind it. It was quite comfortable for me. The pillows were good. It was just another place to sleep, I guess.
And speaking of sleeping, what was your mindset like the night before your fight? How are you feeling?
Well, I was working with a mindset coach. So I was working with her for 3 months. So Claudine, she was absolutely amazing. Like, I've never feeling so confident to walk into the ring. Like, she sent me like audio messages for me to listen to, and I would just visualize myself walking inside the ring. Like, I knew exactly what I was expecting and what I wanted. So it was like I already visualized everything, and I was so confident. I was so happy, and I just thought I would go in there and win. And that's the mindset that I wanted to go in with. Obviously, it didn't work out in my favor. I did lose to the eventual silver medalist, but it was still like I wouldn't change it for the world. Like the way everything was prepared, I think mentally I was more than ready.
Interesting. Mindset coach for 3 months to get you
so
prepared.
good. It was the best decision I've made. And I think you think, oh, like what are they going to say? Like, are they just going to tell me, oh, just keep going, or do this or do that? But really, she helped me so much. Like to just be positive with myself and just to believe in myself. And I think it's really, really important to have that.
And what was your overall favorite Olympics moment?
You know what? I think a lot of us really liked the closing ceremony as well. I think we all got the opportunity to just relax and just enjoy like eating and just like being with each other and just being proud of like our achievements. You know, we all made it to the Olympics at the end of the day, and it was just so fun. And I guess like, obviously not worrying about what we eat, because we're always making weight. So to be able to just like, like just to chill and like, and just relax. I mean, it's felt really good. And even here, like for me to just eat what I want every day, I'm like, I could live this lifestyle. It's so good.
This is the thing, like you're putting everything, heart and soul for many, many years to prepare for this day. So after dedicating so much time and effort, what happens now? So kind of where do you go from here?
Well, it just depends. Like we have the option of turning professional, you could fight on like major cards and, on professional cards, or you can continue we've got like the Commonwealth Games, which you would know about. And there's obviously the Olympics in the next 4 years. So at the moment, I'm just trying to enjoy the process and just really take everything in. And I think once I get back, I really need to decide what's next. To me, it's like I really do want to go to the next Olympics. I honestly believe in myself, and I know that I'm capable of doing so and winning a medal for Australia. So, but 4 years down the track, you don't know what happens, so you can't really say much right now.
Love that so much. Love that mindset. What is your definition of success?
My definition would probably be, I think as long as you give it your best, like as long as you try your best and you wake up every day and you just keep going, you give it all your all. I think the outcome doesn't really matter. Like we all fail, we all we all have our ups and downs. It's like a cycle. You win, you lose, you win, you lose. But eventually, like things will start to go right. I believe everything happens in its right timing, and everything happens for a reason. So even if it's a loss, it's all building towards something bigger and better. Yeah.
Amazing. Before you leave us, you mentioned that post got a lot of hate, but also you mentioned representation, how important it is, and you obviously have a strong female following, people wearing the hijab, young women. Do you have a message for your audience that you would like to share? Yeah,
I would just probably say embrace who you are. Don't worry about what anyone says about you. Like I didn't worry about that, and look where I am now. Just be yourself and be happy with who you are and how you represent yourself, and don't worry about what other people say or think. Like, who are they to you? Everyone's got an opinion. You just got to keep the positivity within and just let go of any negativity. And that's my advice. Just you do you.
Give me goosebumps.
Oh, really? Oh, thank you.
Yeah. LA 2028, is that the goal?
For the moment, we'll say it is. So we never know what would happen in 4 years, but definitely still boxing, I think.
Amazing. Best of luck. Hope to follow your story as you continue. That's Tina Rahimi. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Guys, that is the end of the Lovin Dubai show. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Bye-bye.